Our entire structure in Pakistan has to be more enabling and less controlling in every aspect of life. I think there is no bigger compliment to a human being when you say, I trust you, I will help you, I will enable, support, but I will not take control. There is no bigger vote of confidence on another human being. When people ask me who we are in sAi, I like to say we're technology investors, actually. Obviously, we're venture capitalists because we take a certain amount of risk. I love venture principles, but we're technology investors, which is why sAi invests both in startups as well as technology export services. We do both. Local investor क्यों नहीं पैसा डालेगा अगर उसकी probability of success होगी high? हमारा जो local investor mindset है वो syncs actually very closely with what should happen, which is a high probability mindset. You've got to be comfortable trailblazing a new model, which makes sense, is driven by guiding principles, our local reality, optimistic, but has to be new. It can't be a copy-paste of anywhere else, in fact. If you look at California, for example, as the hub of the venture market, I love the technology there. I love the venture principles there. I love the technology positioning and solutioning there. I don't believe in the financial models over there as applicable and can be copy-pasted in Pakistan. It doesn't work. Hypergrowth in Pakistan at any expense mindset doesn't work, because if you don't succeed in, you run a company for 3 to 4 years, you are in XYZ vertical, you've got a great market reach, you've been growing, you can show some top line. If you don't become profitable at some point and capital stops flowing in, if you're shutting down, there is very little value that somebody is willing to pay for. What that does is it creates a higher risk as an investor for us. In the Western market, it doesn't, because we know that even if you're not going to have the ultimate sustained business success, what you have developed has a lot of value. Here it doesn't. So these are the type of realities that you have to account for today and say, okay, I'm going to build it in a way that I want sustained success in my business. If you look at the global technology services and custom development space, it is in the trillions, and it's going to keep growing, and it's not even about money. It's about the fact that you want to have local smart players, which exist, to do that type of work, take on those challenges and that competitive environment where you are in bidding for proposals and in RFPs in spaces where global companies want to come work with you. Now that requires great engineering, it requires great delivery structures, it requires a culture that is compatible with them, it requires a bunch of things. Why are we not operating in that space? And it's such a natural advantage for us, because engineering there's quite a lot of engineers in Pakistan. I won't use the word abundant, but I would use it's adequate and enough that we should be, operating in that space. And I imagine a lot of people have tried, probably didn't work, and veered towards the smaller work, right? Because even in that work, the returns are very decent, but it is not fun. But in the services space, our companies should be competing globally in that space. And as investors, as operational investors, our goal is that we're going to equip them with all of these advantages so they are in that space. It's going to be challenging, it's going to be hard, but once you get into that space, your technologists are upskilled, you are doing work from a financial terms that's longer in duration, it's more complex, the experiences are invaluable. The amount of learning you have when you are dealing with structures at scale, with people who are very seasoned, because that's what the enterprise world is. When you're doing that work and you do it for a little while, now you've developed a local organizational culture of thinking that keeps on giving you more and more and more. And that's the space when I came to Pakistan, being the 5th or 6th largest country in the world. I mean, everywhere I go, I find the younger students gearing towards technology. They know it's where the financial future lies. They know that it's what's going to lead to stability. That should all, propel us to be in that space where companies from Pakistan are globally sitting with players that are 60, 80, $100 billion companies in this space. We should be there, but we're not. And that's a concern, and a concern I hope we will fix in this very, very near future. I'm not going to wait a decade for that. This is something we're on the path of doing right now. I think the passion for these founders to be at a stage in our macro where they will be developing the next wave of technology-focused companies, it's phenomenal. You can see it burning through them, where they want to be the next Zuckerberg. They want to be the Bezos of the local environment, right? Forget the capital, right? But the desire to do that. I think that's very encouraging. The number of engineers I see who are learning and wanting to make a difference has been very encouraging. What's been most probably concerning amongst the various things is a desire to create IP. I can name 10 countries, much smaller in scale, much smaller than the US, but they have this passion to create intellectual property in technology. That passion has to come through. Like when I wrote the first thesis, there was a certain percentage of capital, white canvas, not a lot of research today. I said, we will go after deploying into IP related organizations, because in those, even if 1 in 10 will succeed, that's 100x return. And I was very passionate to discover that, budding from a developing market like Pakistan. That's been a little disappointing. I think the lure of digitizing a business and raising capital and making some returns has deviated some of the founders into going into that direction more. They're focused on capital raise, and it's necessary to do that, I understand. But it's deviated them from the core fundamental platform that they should be building, which should be very technology focused. So that's been a little concerning. But the engineering talent, the desire to be the first of XYZ in the local ecosystem seeing that is so exciting, and being able to support that with capital, with operational investing methods and market access and things like that. It's an opportunity. I'd say we're blessed that we are in a space where we can participate and empower and support potentially some of the best companies that will come out of Pakistan in the next 5 to 6 years. So the idea of Rupees was, we want local LPs to come into this space, give them a thesis that not just to please them, but we actually believe in it. So when we developed the thesis for sAi on how we want to be technology investors in services and products and startups, and looked at that, it naturally it was created for success here. And the way it was created may not be well understood globally, but it should be very well understood locally, so that people are incentivized not to put capital in like a land holding in DHA or buying like a car, as I was mentioning earlier. It should be like, hey, I want to put in technology because I have a high probability of return, and the scale of return is definitely going to be better than that. I think if they understand the value prop we're going after, and the way, more importantly, the way we're going after it, it's so focused on positioning. It's so focused on making sure that even if some things don't go right, we actually cross the threshold of success. All the work in the last year and a half has been in that space. So that as we start investing, first of all, it has to be the best thing for the company we're investing in, has to be the best things for our investors, and developing the ecosystem that we want to. So it's a journey, it's slow, but I obviously strongly believe in our thesis, I believe in our positioning, and the results will show over time what that means. But when you look at, in simple terms, investing in rupees in profitable businesses that are earning in dollars, I think it's a slam dunk.